welcome to Great Expectations. I'm Felicity Recon in for Sam this week, who is on holiday. We know that parenting can be challenging, and so today, a practical hands-on guide to some of the more difficult aspects of parenting and being a mum. It's our new how-to show. Get your pen and paper, as our panel will give you invaluable info, top tips, and even a trade secret or two. Our first how-to is something we all battle with: time management. Life coach Tanya van den Berg is here to help us with how to get these things done in double quick time and stay sane. Tanya, honestly, is that possible?
We'd like to think it is. And in fact, for the purposes of this program, yes, it is, ladies. It definitely is. No, it is. Of course it is. But you have to readjust your ideas significantly. I think especially for those of us moms who were working before we had babies, it's kind of hard to make peace with the fact that it's never going to be quite the same, not while you're at home. Little one has always got a different agenda and a different timetable. But that can be planned for, just in a different way.
What do you think are the top time mistakes that mommies make?
Trying to schedule things too close together, not being clever with the easy, lazy things. My gran always used to say, if you're going to be lazy, do it properly. So always have that emergency bag packed. Not the same one you use every day, one that's for just in case you get a phone call now that you need to be somewhere with the baby or with your toddler. Little things like we're going to hear about later in the show, how to do your hair and your clothes and your makeup in such a way that you don't spend a whole hour. And I think be flexible in certain things and rigid in others. And what I mean by that is you've got to be flexible when it comes to fitting your baby's needs, obviously, but you've got to be rigid about learning to create a schedule for yourselves that actually works, because getting that right in the first few months, or let's say the first year, means that from then on you will have time that you can schedule, like after 6. Oh, blessed joy.
Past suicide hour.
Yes.
Now tell me what happens though for moms with toddlers and babies. Surely now that's a whole other time management issue that we've got to deal with.
Well, sure it is. Let's face it, the first few months of any baby's life are going to be dictated by the baby. That's pretty much the case. But if your toddler is already in a routine, such as when bath time happens, when lunchtime happens, when bedtime happens, it becomes much easier for baby number 2 or baby number 3, baby number 4, Lord help you, to slip into that routine as well. Especially when the little one sees the bigger one already doing something, it really isn't a hassle.
Now the thing is, I find that, especially in my household, and I'm sure in a lot of other moms' household, it's the mornings. Give me a practical example of the chaos that can actually happen in a household in the morning and how you overcome that.
Well, of course, see, getting up at 6:30, you've got to be somewhere at 8, and I think we all do this little countdown thing in your head. I've got 20 minutes for this, I've got 20 minutes for baby, 20 minutes for breakfast, 20 minutes for myself, ha ha ha, and something always happens.
Is that the way to do it?
Well, it's a nice way to think you're doing it.
Okay, so what's the right way?
You do have to plan, of course you do. But I'd say as a golden rule, always add 20 minutes to half an hour. If you think it's going to take 1 hour getting ready for whatever, whether it's your morning or for something else later in the day, add 20 minutes or half an hour in your head already.
Okay.
If that amazing day happens,
aren't you getting up at 3:30 in the morning at the church?
I did only say 20 minutes, Felicity, not 20 minutes per child.
Okay.
Although it probably is a good idea.
Yeah.
There are always going to be those days when both of them suddenly decide to have diarrhea 5 minutes before you leave, you know.
This is the one thing I've always wanted to know. Should you get your kids ready first or yourself?
I'd love to say I have a perfect answer for that. I don't know. You get them ready first, and then while you're getting ready, they do something horrible to themselves.
What do? Do you get yourself ready first or your kids? Or when they were younger?
When they were younger, I got myself ready first.
Okay.
Yeah. I think probably because if something's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong on their side. You know, it's going to be one of them that throws up on something or suddenly refuses to put their red shoes on or whatnot. If you're already ready,
and they throw up on
you don't have to. Yes. But at least then you can only panic about one part of your get-up, you know, and not the whole thing. Otherwise, everything tends to drag out with little kids, doesn't it? You know, next thing you look, it's an hour and a half, and suddenly you're still in your gown. Okay. So, yeah, I would do it that way around.
Okay, so now give me your top 5 time management tips.
Okay, number 1, always have emergency stuff ready. The emergency handbag, the emergency kids bag, and an extra top. You know things are going to go wrong, prepare for it as if you were. Number 2, add your extra 20 minutes in whatever you're getting ready for. If you are ready on time, hallelujah, you've got extra time. Make your schedule written in stone. Look, obviously you can change that when emergencies come up, or a day when you're going somewhere else, sure. But have that schedule. It's hard in the first year, I know, but trust me, get that right, and the rest of small child rearing is so much easier. If they dictate, you'll never get anything done.
2 more?
No, I think that's them. Don't you think that's enough?
And I think the scheduling, not scheduling things right on top of one of each other is quite important as well.
A great schedule means you can always work around your schedule. You can change it. Nap time doesn't have to be at 3 if you're off to go and see grandma. But if it is most of the time, you're just not going to have a child that's upset with you changing something.
Absolutely. Great tips in 5 minutes. Thank you, Tanya. Now, on to our next how-to. Hair lice. No, not my kid, I hear you say. But once they start going to play school or swimming lessons, there is a good chance they'll pick up lice at some stage. So listen up. Our next guest is a global authority on parasites, Professor Heinz Melhourn, and we're going to pick his brains, if you'll excuse the pun, on how to get rid of hair lice. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, that's it.
Heinz, tell me, what is the difference between like nits and lice?
Yes, lice are the living stages, adults and larvae, and nits are the eggs. They are glued at the hair, and there they stick for about several weeks even. Also the larvae hatch about after 5 to 8 days.
Right. Now tell me, how can you pick up your child has lice? You've got some here, and they are extremely small. What are the first kind of symptoms?
The first symptom that the child is inquiet. You see that the child doesn't sleep very well. And then when you look in the hair, you will see those crawling elements. But the females, they suck blood every 2 to 3 hours and depose their eggs closely at the basis of the hair, close to the scalp. So when you take open the hair, then you will see very down these nits, but they are brownish at this time, so very hard to see. When you see nits which are white, then it's already gone nearly.
So that's the shell?
That's the shell.
Wow. I see.
And inside there's a larva developed from a fertilized egg.
How does it transmit from person to person though?
Just only there by hair contact. Hair to hair contact is the only one. So the lice are not crazy. You know, if they would drop down, they would lose their food. So they have to take their food within 2 to 3 hours. And in case they drop down by erroneous or by accident, they will die. So in our experiments, we saw that most of them didn't survive 3-4 hours because they need the heat, so it's warmth and the temperature of the head and the blood. So they normally the contact is only hair by hair, and this is very easy in childbirths, in school, and playing, mother reading books together, and also in the army or in the sports or in the subway when people are clutching together, the hair-to-hair contact is given.
Now tell me, is it true that they like dirty hair better than clean hair, or clean hair better than dirty hair?
That's one of the myths. The lice are blood lovers. That's just a fact. They take anybody, a human, not a dog. They don't take a cat. They accept all humans all over the world. When we left the paradise, the Rift Valley, 4 million years ago, they went with us all over the globe.
Right. Now, the one thing, I'm going to get those back to you because I'm feeling rather itchy. Tanya, your kids had lice. How did you treat them?
That's something I was just going to ask, Heinz. You know, they had it so often, and honestly, I must have tried every single homeopathic nice remedy on the market, and I think a lot of mums, the same concern as me. I don't necessarily want to use that poisonous stuff, but it did seem to work.
So you use
and then you have to obviously clean the bedding. I was told to boil the bedding. I don't know about you, but it is incredibly difficult to boil bedding in this day and age.
A duvet in a pot, I want to see that happen.
So never quite got there. And then combing for hours and hours.
Because that's the thing is, these are all myths. The lice will stay on your head or the child's head, and so when you wash every day the linen...
No, you're not telling me I washed all that linen for nothing.
For absolutely nothing, because one louse might drop down, and occasionally it went on, but all the rest stays on the head.
So how do you treat it?
So the thing is, all these things also myths that homeopathic products help. The problem is the lice are very resistant. You know, they live longer than we on this earth, and so they have a contact to many of those products, and so they are. Products must be not harmful, not toxic, and they must also be very friendly to the skin. And now the other thing is they must be effective, because otherwise you may vary. For example, the myth is that with vinegar you get away the lice. It's not true.
It's a myth. But there is treatments available that aren't poisonous, that aren't going to cause damage. Do net combs work?
Yeah, net combs is always a means of diagnosis, to see whether you find one when you make a combing. But even the tiniest comb has a space in between the larvae may slip through, or since the lice may run very quick, they get away from this comb. So they never will get by combing all lice out, so they will remain with lice. But it's a sign that you can treat, or you must treat later on, this body.
Heinz, you've got 30 seconds. What is your top tip on treating lice?
Of course, we in our university, we developed from plants, from extracts, which are very healthy and which kill, and we got a product named Pixan, which was voted in Netherlands and Germany as one of the most safest compounds, because on the markets there are also other good ones. That's the way. But the thing is, there are also dangerous ones. So far, there are inflammable ones, containing, for example, compounds like cyclometidones, medicones, or
something things that are toxic,
and toxic ones, and those which are inflammable. So even the product on the hand is not inflammable. Then there's a mixture with the hair. When you pass a candle, or when you light your fan, you may burn. You may really...
Thank you, you're scaring me. So, we've got products that are safe and effective, but speak to your pharmacist. I think that's the biggest message there. Thank you so much, Heinz. Okay then, next up we look at something a little more fun. How to take great pics of your kids. Call us with your queries for our pros on 011 537 9338 or SMS us on 34970. Thank you.